Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Tara Institute. My name is Asvini. I'm really glad to be here again for this Monday night series. I can see some familiar faces, but for those who are here for the first time, a very warm welcome. Is anyone here for the first time? Welcome. Just to orient those who are new, these Monday evenings present an opportunity to explore some key ideas from Buddhist philosophy and psychology in a way that's open, reflective, and applicable to our day-to-day lives. You don't need to consider yourself to be a Buddhist to benefit or attend. These sessions are meant to be practical. So we discuss the ideas that you can take back to your life and try and see how they work for you or reflect on them. So a distinctive quality of Buddhist approach is that it invites questioning. I've been saying that on all Monday nights, and because the Buddha didn't ask us to believe anything blindly. He encourages a spirit of inquiry. He said not to accept anything just because he taught it. He wanted us to test it, to relate it with our own experience, and then see if it has some meaning for us, if it works for us. And that encouragement to think, to reflect, and to observe things for ourselves is one of the reasons, few things that actually drew me personally to this tradition. So if something resonates tonight, it's wonderful. If something feels challenging or even incorrect, that's the part of the process. These ideas are meant to be worked with, not swallowed whole. So we will keep some time at the end of the discussion of this presentation for some discussion. And if along this journey, if you find something that needs clarification, just point it out to me, and we'll pause and we can address those issues. So, as you have all noticed, I recited a short verse at the and that's a traditional way to begin Buddhist teachings or meditation sessions. The purpose of that is to set an intention, to be very clear about why we are here, and so you all here have come here with some intention. It might be just curiosity about Buddhism. It might be finding a little bit of calm and peace, learning more about meditation. So this inner intention, the reason why you think you're here, is from a Buddhist perspective, is very, very important. This intention is the seed from which everything grows. Not only our actions, but our complete experience grows from the intention that we hold in our hearts. So I would like to invite you to take a brief pause. We just do a quiet reflection to set our intention for this, or motivation for this session. And if you feel comfortable, you can gently close your eyes, and I will read a motivation. So you can ask yourself, why am I here tonight? What do I hope to gain from this time together? Maybe it's a wish for greater clarity in my life. Maybe it's a desire to understand the mind more deeply, to find some steadiness in the midst of change, or to meet life's difficulties with more wisdom and compassion. Whatever the reason, allow it to come to the surface. And then gently expand it. Could this time together also serve a larger purpose? Could it be not just for me or my own benefit, but also to become someone who brings little more clarity, kindness, and stability into the world? Someone whose inner work naturally ripples outward. Let this intention quietly settle in our hearts, and then we'll begin. Thank you. So the last couple of weeks we have been exploring meditation together. And if we step back a bit, it's really in the context of something that we all share. A natural wish to be happy. Every single one of us wants to feel well, to feel content. And this wish is completely natural. It's not something that we need to justify. It's just being human. In fact, even all sentient beings, all kinds of life, they want to avoid suffering. But the question is, where do we look for this happiness? And we talked about this. Most of the time it is outside of us. We try to satisfy our desires for things, relationships, for success. We spend most of our waking hours in this life chasing after external conditions, hoping that they will finally make us feel complete. And that, while that's quite understandable, we probably have all noticed something, that it never quite works the way we imagine. Even when we get what we want, it doesn't last. We feel good for a while and then a new desire pops up. It's ongoing, incessant. It's like quenching your thirst with salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. There's always a sense of there's something missing, something incomplete. So the one place we don't often look for happiness or contentment is inward, towards our own mind. We often forget that every experience we have, whatever we hear, feel, see, it's all mediated by our mind. It all happens in our mind. So the real issue is not what's happening out there. It is in here as to how we respond to what's happening around us. And when we turn inward towards our mind, we might sometimes be surprised or even discouraged. Last time I discussed this monkey mind. So when we look inwards, we find this monkey mind, which is restless, distracted, jumpy, never satisfied, wanting to be somewhere else, wanting to be doing something else. And that unsettledness that we feel, it just isn't nuisance, it's our direct experience of dukkha. That feeling of perpetual discontentment, not being satisfied all the time. Brief moments of satisfaction, and then more moments of more longing and more unsettledness. And we discussed this last time, this is the definition of dukkha. And we also talked about the fact that from a Buddhist perspective, this inner discomfort is not who we are. It is not the true nature of our mind. And it can be worked with, it can be transformed. But to do that, we have to meet it directly. We have to be willing to sit with our own mind. And that's where meditation comes in. So we have been describing meditation as an inward journey, which has a few key stages. First is we observe the mind. Without judgment, we see both helpful and unhelpful states of mind. We see those states of mind which make us feel happy and the states of mind that make us feel unhappy. Just that observation. And then we start to recognize the patterns. We try to look at what's causing these minds to arise. We look at our anger, we look at our attachment or craving, we look at our confusion. All those things which lead to these suffering states of mind. And finally, we start to transform these patterns. Like we can exercise our body for good health, we can train our mind through meditation to become more peaceful so that these states of mind that afflict us do not arise. Now, meditation comes in many forms, both inside and outside the Buddhist traditions. It's not a religious practice. It is something that is quite secular. You don't have to be religious to practice meditation. But in Buddhist tradition, there are two types of meditation that we talked about. One is a stabilizing meditation, where we we build our concentration by having a single-pointed focus on our object of meditation. And this helps develop our concentration, and we have a stable, calm mind. And the other meditation that we're going to talk about today is analytical meditation. Here we explore a topic with reasoning, with some analysis. And there is some reflection involved in this. And we try to understand ourselves better. And we try to understand the world around us a bit better. And we'll talk a little bit more about this. But so far this month we have done stabilizing meditations together, which were focused on breath or visualizing an image of Buddha. And these practices, the ones we have already done together, are very helpful because they put a mirror to our state of mind. They show us what's going on in there. And slowly we start to, focus our scattered attention. And by practicing this, we might sometimes have this feeling of inner stillness, which can be incredibly nourishing. A feeling of deep calm can arise in our meditation, in the single-pointed or stabilizing meditations. So last week we again talked about that the goal of meditation is not to stop thinking. The job of the mind is to produce thoughts like lungs breathe. So in our practice, we learn not to follow our thoughts or emotions. When these thoughts and emotions arise, we gently bring our mind back to our object of meditation. And that returning back to our object of meditation is the core of training. That's what we train ourselves to do. And over time and with practice, we hope to develop two qualities of mind. One is clarity, and the other is stability. So what is clarity? We talked about it as being able to hold our object of meditation in a vividly, very clearly. A sense of engagement with the object is very clear. And the other was stability, that is, our concentration or attention of the object remains static. We don't lose the object of meditation. Our mind is constantly focused on the object of meditation. These two qualities we have to build through our practice over a period of time. And we talked about two tools that we have at our hand. One is the tool of mindfulness, and the other is the tool of alertness or introspection. So mindfulness is what reminds us to stay with the object, not lose the object not lose the object of meditation completely. So it's something like, oh yeah, I'm watching the breath, or I'm visualizing an image for my meditation. And alertness is like that, silent watchdog who's noticing what's happening, and if our attention has drifted, reminds us to get it back to the object of meditation. So these are the two tools that we to work with to develop our practice. So we also used an analogy of training a wild elephant, which is traditionally used to teach meditation in Tibetan Buddhism. So our mind is the elephant that we need to train is our mind, which is very strong, very energetic, but quite unruly. And the post that you tie this elephant to for training is the object of your meditation. And the rope that we use to tie it is the tool of mindfulness. And the iron hook that you hold in your hand to train the elephant is the alertness, which gets the elephant back to the post whenever it drifts away. And then we talked about the two faults that we normally have in meditation. It's like when the elephant gets excited, he wants to run around and explore other parts of the forest. The fault of excitement, where mind is attached to something else, and we lose the object of our meditation. And the second fault we talked about was dullness, sinking. When the elephant gets sloppy, or he just wants to lie down and do nothing, not engaging with meditation itself. So our job as a trainer is to not use any harshness or force, which is very counterproductive in our practice of meditation. We can't get angry while we are meditating. So with gentleness, we try to get this elephant back again and again, again and again. No judgment, steady, slow training. And with time and repetition, this elephant does settle, the mind becomes more stable, becomes more peaceful, more usable. And once we have done that, we have a foundation to really work with our mind in a deeper way, which is analytical meditation that we'll explore further today. Let's start though with a short session of stabilization meditation that we did last time. So I introduced a five-point structure for the meditation, and it helps to have some kind of a structure, because I think consistency and repeating the same things over and over again helps us build our practice. So the 5 points we talked about was, number one, posture, to have the right, good posture, stable posture for meditation. The second point was the relaxation, to be able to let go of any stress or tension that we might be holding in our body. And I used an example of, when we do something very, we do a workout or a jog or something very physical, and then you just sink down in a couch and the body just lets go, relax completely into our posture. And then the third was motivation as to why we are doing the practice, why we are meditating. Very important again to set that intention right. And then the actual meditation session, where we have been using breath as an object of meditation. Simply breathing in and breathing out, just noticing the breath without needing to change anything, just a natural flow of breath in and out. And when the mind wanders, we bring it slowly back to our object of meditation. And then finally the last point is dedication, that whatever energy that we may have created, whatever good work we have done, we dedicate to our motivation, whatever we intended to do with that, with this session. So we can start with, you can settle down into a posture. if someone has any questions about posture, I won't go through it in great detail again, but let me know. So the idea is to be, stable, relaxed, and alert. Helps to keep your back upright, head, chin turned down, tucked down a bit, with your eyes half open if that's possible, and gently resting your gaze in the ground in front of you. And now that we have our posture, let's turn to relaxation. Take a few slow, deep breaths, inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly. With each breath, allow your body to begin to relax. Let go of any tension that you might be holding. No need to make anything happen. Just invite the body to rest, as if nothing more needs to be done in this moment. Take a few breaths here, breathing in with awareness, and breathing out, a sense of ease and presence. Let's set our motivation. Might join me in generating this wish. May this practice help me come into the present moment and bring more awareness to my mind. May it support me in finding a deeper sense of calm and peace within myself, and may this inner transformation help me become a source of benefit to others. Now lightly place your attention on your breath. Notice where the breath is most vivid for you. It could be your nostrils, it could be your chest or abdomen. Pick one area and place your awareness anchored on it. You can use a simple mental note such as breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. And breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. This is an in-breath, this is an out-breath. Very simple, very easy. There is no need to control or modify your breathing. Just observe. Don't interfere. If your mind has drifted, simply acknowledge it and return it to the breath without judgment. This act of returning again and again is the core of our training. Let's stay with this for some time. Very gently bring your mind back to the room. You might silently reflect. Whatever benefit has come from this practice, may it be a cause for lasting peace and happiness within myself. And may it extend to support the well-being and happiness of all beings everywhere. Thank you. So let's say we do some breathing meditation, just watching our breath, quietly staying with it. After some time, maybe a few weeks, a few months, we start to notice a slight, something shift. There's a little bit of more calm. There is a little bit more space. It feels like almost, stepping into the shade after you've been in sun for all day long. That sense of, this overactive, overthinking mind gets a little break, and it actually feels quite good. And in our modern world, especially in the West, this is often what people think meditation is. Just creating a calm, peaceful state of mind. And honestly, if that's all that it gave us, it'll still be worth doing it, because in our busy lives, in our very noisy environments, which keep us mentally completely engaged, this moment of relief is great. It's very, very beneficial. But meditation can go much deeper than just helping us relax. So as we spend more time with our mind, we start to realize what's going on there. We start to see what kind of emotions arise, what kind of feelings are arising. We start noticing how we react to things, what stories we are telling ourselves. And we start to observe these patterns, the helpful ones and the ones that get us stuck or are not helpful to us. So there's an awareness, there's just that awareness of how our mind is working. And that's the first very important step. And we have been talking about meditation as an internal journey. It's not just about finding temporary peace. It is observing what's going on there, then recognizing the patterns, and eventually being able to transform them. So the stabilization meditations that we are doing, the single-pointed meditation we just did, can help us observe. Maybe it can help us recognize, but it cannot help us transform these patterns. We could be very calm in meditation, but we could still carry these habitual patterns that upset us, the afflictions, the anger, the jealousy, the craving just beneath the surface. And when life presses our buttons again, we react with anger. We react with all these afflictive states of mind. So what good is a blank mind if all these troublesome states of mind emerge when we are triggered? So stopping thoughts does not stop these delusions. You can be sitting in a cave for 10 years meditating and completely having a blank mind, and we return to a normal life, and then in a moment we are angry or jealous. So what have you really changed? So being calm is not same as being free from negative emotions. So Lama Zopa Rinpoche, there's this picture there, founded this organization. He said, real meditation is not just resting the mind. It is familiarizing it with virtue until virtue becomes spontaneous. And when you say virtue, it means the states of mind that lead to happiness. And it is such a key point. It's such a key point. What we are aiming for is not stillness. It is inner transformation. So we want to be able to train the mind to respond differently, with more wisdom, more kindness, more freedom. So meditation isn't about checking out of life and being in a still state of mind, disconnected. No, it's to be able to engage with life in a wiser manner, in a manner that is beneficial for us. So imagine your mind, as a messy room. You turn off the music or turn off whatever distractions, the televisions, whatever is going on and distracting you, then you can really see the mess very clearly. But if you don't actually start cleaning, if you don't sort out the mess that's already there, nothing really changes. The calm that we get from meditating gives us that space, but we still have to do the work. And it's important to understand that stabilization meditation is a neutral tool. It's developing concentration could be like sharpening a knife. It can be used to make a nourishing meal, or it can be used to harm someone. Lama Zopa Rinpoche used to give an example, and he said, a bank robber planning a heist, he needs a great level of concentration, great level of mindfulness. He's totally focused, not distracted, knows where he has to go and how he has to get away, and so on and so forth. But that focus is not being used to create peace and happiness. He is creating causes for anxiety, fear, and long-term suffering. So this focus is then being used in the service of a delusion. So the key here is not concentration, it's how we use that focused mind, what we turn it towards, and what inner change we wish to make. And that's where analytical meditation, that piece helps us, that's where it comes in. It helps us to transform these patterns that cause us suffering. So you can think about stabilizing meditation as something that makes our mind calm, still, and gives us peace, presence, and focus. And analytical meditation is then what we do with that focused mind, how we put it to use. So there is a traditional analogy that's used, if you wanted to dye a cloth in a brilliant color, if the cloth is dirty, you first need to wash it. Otherwise, your dye may be very brilliant, but the cloth won't take it. So the washing part of it, the settling the agitation of the mind to get a calm state of mind, is stabilization meditation. And then transforming it, putting a new color on it, is what is the analytical meditation that we do. So the two work hand in hand, Stabilization meditation makes the mind more serviceable. It becomes more pliant, more easy to handle. And analytical meditation uses this mind to uproot the confusion we have and plant wisdom instead. So how does this work? How does this process of meditation work? So you first, again, it's got 3 steps here. First is we study and reflect. So what do we study? So generally we pick up an issue that we normally struggle with, and and it's something that we would like to transform. Maybe it's anger, maybe it is craving, maybe it's fear of change. And sometimes these patterns are very obvious. Sometimes we can learn about these through mindfulness or some feedback, or sometimes difficult situations of life make us realize that, okay, this is an issue that I want to deal with or work with. So first you kind of study, you identify an area that you feel stuck with, and you study. You hear about it, you read texts, you go to other people, teachers who have worked on this issue before, and then gather all the information. But it doesn't stop there. Then you reflect. Then you say, okay, I've learned all this. Does it make sense to me? Does it relate with my own inner experience? Can I actually, connect what I have learned with what I actually experience? So that's the first step, study and reflection. And then we sit for meditative analysis. So we sit quietly and bring that topic into meditation. And very slowly and deliberately, we go through it, we think about it in our meditation. And then the final point is resting in insight. So when we are analyzing an issue in our mind, in meditation, something can click, can have a sudden moment of realization, the aha moment, oh, something has clicked, there is an insight. You stop analyzing at that time. Single-pointedly, then focus on that feeling that has arisen in your mind, and let it permeate your mind deeply. This resting stage is very crucial, because it stabilizes the insight that we have got in our meditation session, and it's not no more a passing thought, something that came our mind and we just left. No, we just kind of hold single-pointedly on the insight that we have created, and familiarized. We talked about meditation. The Tibetan word for meditation was, I introduced in the first session, as gom, which is to become familiar with, to familiarize our mind with something. So this resting in insight creates that familiarity, makes our mind, and what we're trying to do here is familiarize our mind with positive states that lead to happiness, to virtue, to our own happiness. So again, we use the 2 tools here: mindfulness, which keeps us focused on on the subject, topic of our contemplation. For example, if you're doing a meditation on anger, then we are on that subject. And alertness periodically checks whether we have drifted away from that analysis, and if it does, then mindfulness brings us back to the topic. So, like in stabilizing meditation, mindfulness keeps us connected with the topic or object of meditation, and alertness keeps us honest in our session. So, I thought we should try it together, if we could do a meditation together, and I'll go through it in steps, and hopefully you would see how it could possibly work. So bearing in mind that we are here trying to familiarize our mind with something that could bother us. How we're changing we're doing some transformation on the way our mind works. So I think, was there anyone attending last month's Monday night sessions here? Cynthia was doing them. Okay, I think she taught a lot about management of anger, and I thought because some of us may be familiar with that, so I will use that as a topic of meditation today. But my focus here is to introduce the technique as to how we can do. You can apply it to anything, but I'll use anger as an example for our meditation today. So, and most of us experience anger as a natural response to when we are mistreated or situations do not go as we wish. Arises very naturally. It feels very instinctive and justified at that time. We have a right, we have a right to be angry in certain situations. So, the question that we are asking ourselves: can we change that response? Is it possible to change that response, which feels so instinctive? And we'll use two lenses in this meditation. One is looking inwards. Potentially, what harm anger brings to ourselves. When we think of anger as a justified response to something, but we often fail to realize how it impacts us, how it disturbs our peace, how it clouds our own judgment, and sometimes leaves us feeling worse than we were. And the other lens we will use is, focused outwards, looking at how our anger harms others, what impact it has on others, and even if we feel momentarily justified, we will think about the lasting impact on our relationships, the kind of person we will become. All these things can be very profound. So the idea here is that we don't change anything by repression. We don't just suppress the anger or any other delusion. We try to change it through wisdom, by cultivating wisdom in our mind. So let's try this together, and then we'll talk about it. So please settle into your posture for this meditation, same as we did for single-pointed concentration. Let's take a few slow, deep breaths. Inhaling deeply and exhaling slowly. Release all the tension in your body. Let's set a motivation for our practice. Join me in thinking. May this meditation help me understand the nature of anger and its impact on my life. May I learn to work with my mind more wisely, so that I can respond to challenges with greater clarity and compassion. And may this inner work benefit not only myself, but those around me. Let's get our attention to our breath. Feeling present and connected. Now bring into your mind an instance of getting angry. It's good if you can remember one that happened recently, so that it's fresh in your mind. It doesn't need to be a dramatic one, just a real one. Try and recall that feeling. What happened? What triggered the feeling? Perhaps someone cut you off in traffic? Could have been anger towards someone in your family or a neighbor or someone you work with. Could be anger towards someone you really don't know, but you hear about them. People that we read about or hear in media that do things we don't like and get angry about. Just recall something that you can relate to and bring that experience to your mind. Just look at how this experience of anger, this feeling of anger, affects you. What kind of effects does it have on your body? What happened in your body at that moment? Was there tension? Did your heart rate increase a bit? Did your breath change? Get into mind whatever happened, whatever you can recall. Now look at how anger affected your mind. What thoughts were arising? Were they clear or agitated and reactive? Did your mind feel good, calm, peaceful, clear? Or did your mind feel disturbed, turbulent, agitated, unhappy? Were you able to focus effectively on what you were doing, work or any other activity? Or did your mind keep getting distracted by angry thoughts? Were you able to control your mind? Or were you swept away by the tide of your anger? Were you strong in your control of your mind and actions? Or were you emotional and reactive to your surroundings? Were you seeing things clearly? Or was your anger exaggerating your perception? See if you can notice the effects of anger on your other activities. For example, eating, sleeping, going for a walk, for a drive, being with friends and family. Do you find that when your mind is disturbed, tense and unhappy, maybe it's difficult to sleep, difficult to enjoy being in company of others, and so on? Through this examination, you may be able to recognize the disturbing effect anger has on your body, your mind, and your other activities. And now, let's look at how our anger harms others. Examine the effect of anger on people around us. Bring to mind of the person or people who were affected by your anger. Try to get them as clearly as possible in your mind. Now try to view the moment from their perspective. Ask yourself, how did your anger land on them? What was the look on their face? What might they have felt? Fear? Sadness? Confusion? Then ask yourself, did your words build connection or break it? Did your anger help them understand you better or make it harder? Be honest. Often when we react with anger, we think we are defending ourselves. But we may be wounding someone else in the process. If you could reflect, every time I respond with irritation or blame, I'm teaching people how unsafe it is to be near my anger. Is that what I want? Now ask yourself, after the moment passed, did the anger improve anything? Did it bring peace or a lasting solution? If I keep responding with anger over time, what happens to my relationships? And if I strengthen the habit of anger, even a little bit, am I someone people feel safe with? Or someone they fear upsetting? Recognize, even though anger may be justified, it never gives us the lasting peace we truly want. In fact, it robs us of peace, it clouds our clarity, damages our health, and leaves us drained. Now, imagine the same situation. Same situation that led anger to arise, but instead of reacting with anger, you paused. You still felt discomfort, but instead of reacting with anger, you paused. You responded with honesty, but also kindness. Imagine how that would feel for them and for you. What kind of strength would that build? What kind of connection could grow from there? And what kind of a person you would become? We do have a choice when anger comes up in our mind. We don't have to go with it and get caught up in it. Let ourselves become angry. We can remind ourselves, it's just a state of mind. It's not permanent. It's not who we are. It's a passing mental state. Just come and go like a cloud in the sky. Let's plant a seed of intention. I want to protect my peace. I want to be free from the harm of anger. I want to protect others from my anger. I want to cultivate patience so that I can respond wisely. Let that intention settle in our hearts. Let's dedicate whatever understanding I have gained, may it become a cause of peace in my mind, and may it also help me become a source of patience and kindness for others. So, by meditating on anger in this way, what we're trying to do is transform our relationship with anger. If we start to realize that anger is harmful for us, and it is harmful for those around us, then maybe when an unpleasant situation arises, we spontaneously think, oh, this anger is not good for me. And we just don't hold on to it and we let go of it, the feeling. And that's the purpose of transformation. Because when you instinctively realize that, no, this is not good for me, I'm not going to hold on to this. Because at the moment, I feel that anger is justified, it's natural. But I'm probably not mindful of the impact it has on me and others. But once I have that realization, then maybe I will not hold on to it. And when we train in this practice over a long period of time, then anger isn't our spontaneous response. In fact, instead of reacting with anger, you could react with compassion. You could have a feeling that, you have completely rewired your mind to react to those situations with compassion instead of anger. In this process, in the process of analytical meditation, we use analysis first to spark this insight. We have this intellectual analysis to spark this insight. And then we hold that insight with focus, letting it permeate our mind completely. And that transformation is not just about the contents of our mind, but the very structure of our experience. at a very, very fundamental level. So an analogy that's used is it's like cooking, Analytical meditation is turning on the heat. It brings the insight to boil. And then fixed meditation is like letting it simmer gently so that the flavor is completely permeated. Without these two things working together, you can't really cook a dish. So what I'm trying to bring about here today is how these two practices, analytical meditation and stabilization meditation, they work hand in hand for us to get some the inner transformation that we seek from meditation. I think I'll leave it here tonight. So, are there any questions that come? Okay, next week is the final session on this, and we'll continue on analytical meditation and some of the things that I want to share with you, and I will also try and summarize everything that we have done so far. So, there's some coffee, tea and cake in the dining hall. I'll be around if you have any questions. I'm happy to talk to you. Thank you. Good night.